Dr. M. Subbaya is an assistant professor in mathematics in LN Government College, Poneri. He has specialized on statistics interdisciplinary. Being interested in active research program and mathematical or statistical modeling, he has knowledge in operating various softwares on statistical tools and on technical computing. Having 16 years of teaching experience, he has published papers in 8 national and international journals and has also presented papers in 10 national and international conferences.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series on mathematical sciences. Conditional probability, that is the topic of discussion for this session. So, what we mean by a probability, and then what is the difference between mentioning one more term with that conditional. So, in what way this conditional probability will slightly differ from the basic definition of probability. In fact, both are not very much distinct, but sometimes there is a necessity to emphasize this kind of conditional probability that is based on two events. So, the topic for the session is number 1, I just review the axiomatic definition, because this conditional probability is also based on this particular form. Then some theorems on probability based on this conditional form will be discussed, so that the multiplication law of probability will be derived. Then this definition will make one more idea regarding the events involved in a sample space, namely independent events. Though the definition need not be directly applied and then understood, the idea of independent events that can be understood directly from the way it is being defined. Still, conditional probability helps to analyze these independent events and vice versa. Then few examples for that matter. So, as I mentioned, we shall have a very quick review on this axioms, 3 axioms in fact. Probability should be defined as non-negative, and then the total probability, what we call it as measure, is equivalent to 1, and whenever two sets or events here are mutually disjoint, then probability of A union B is defined as P of A plus P of B, called additivity. So, these are all the symbols associated with that. So, we define it as a set function, probability as a set function based on these 3 axioms. So, we just observe what this conditional probability will mean. As I mentioned, we are going to have at least 2 events with us now. Conditional probability of E, in parallel we can find out this statement also in the left side. This is what we can read it as conditional probability of E given F. So, this symbol like a slash, but it is not so, or in number we usually refer this as divided by something like that, and none of those wordings are adapted except this particular format, the conditional probability of E given F. So, this has to be read like that, is the probability that an event E will occur given that another event F. So, this given is an extra emphasis on F. So, the idea for conditional probability, which we looked in 2 perspective, one in a contextual, I mean textual form, probability of an event you are going to calculate, say E in our notation, but we will stress one more important aspect, that given another event F has already occurred. So, this is an additional information, based on that the probability of E is being calculated. Though the right hand side of that particular equality provides some mathematical relation, I will explain through some example and then we can correlate these 2 definitions as well as the textual framework. So, once again I would like to refer the textual form. This left hand side notation refers to this kind of probability. Once again it looks an event only, but you are given already that an event F has occurred. So, when we talk about in terms of E and F in general, it may not be that much clear, but only one point I have to stress, that is this P of S is not an impossible event. We should have that assumption, and mathematically P of S not equal to 0. So, in what way this definition or in what way this intersection is get into the picture, we will discuss through an example that may explain more better than this just like a mathematical formula. So, only a textual content with this particular form. We are going to calculate some event E with an assumption or information that there is another event F has happened. So, do they relate each other, whether F impacts E, that is the question mark here. One more point we are going to discuss in this session. I will make some simple example with this number set. My sample set contains just 50 integers 1, 2, 3, 4 etc. 50, and E is going to be selecting a multiple of 5. So, obviously, we have 5, 10, 15 and so on and so forth. Then F is selecting a multiple of 7, which is 7, 14, 21, 28 and so on up to 49. So, 7 numbers will be there. So, when I calculate simply P of E without any reference to F, I refer with the help of S. There are totally 50 elements or numbers. My favorite is multiple of 5, therefore, 10 are there. So, simply n of A by n of S will yield the answer 10 by 50. In a similar way, P of F also there are 7 multiple of 7 and totally 50 elements, therefore, 7 by 50 is my answer. Next two quantities are important, these two. First of all, let us take E given F. So, now F is given to us. So, the word F is carefully noted, because when we write we P of E given F. So, the order comes from the probability of interest in the sense E. For that there is an additional restriction comes in the form of F. So, that is the way we write P of E given F, but when you calculate we should consider first of all F, because now the consideration is only with the F, not with S. So, what happened when I consider only F, I have multiple of 7 only in with me. So, the universe is restricted, or else the sample space is restricted to only 7 numbers, of which I have to select a multiple of 5. So, let us discuss very plain without any medium. So, I have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 7 numbers. That is my world now, not 1 to 50, because I am considering F first. In that I am looking the multiple of 5. Obviously, it is basically a multiple of 7. Now, I am looking a multiple of 5. So, the number which you are going to pick for this particular criterion will satisfy two conditions. One is it will be a multiple of 7 basically, and then it will be a multiple of 5. So, naturally, it satisfies the condition of E and F. So, a number has to be multiple of 7, then and multiple of 5, which is nothing but 35 in my example. So, only one number is the favorable among the 7. If I reverse the argument, what will happen? P of F given E. So, I have selected the multiple of 5 first of all. Now, my world is, I mean the universe is restricted to 10 elements, namely multiple of 5. So, once again among the multiple of 5 which are 10 in hand, we are going to search the multiple of 7. So, that element will be a member of multiple of 5 and a member of multiple of 7. So, it satisfies both the condition of E and F. So, numerator is once again 35 is the number which is a multiple of 7 and a multiple of 5 in this condition. So, E is my world, therefore, 10 and 1. With this description, if you go back to your definition with this form. So, when I try to calculate E given F, my world is restricted to F. So, in the denominator I am able to pick some elements of F alone, and in F trying to pick the elements of E. So, like 35, the numerator will be corresponding, or numerator will be contributed by members of F basically, among which I am selecting the elements of E. So, they are the elements of E and F which is nothing but the in set theory E intersection F. So, the favorable by total is the one and only way we define the formula, and that is the idea helps here also, but the calculation methods slightly differ because once again I will refer my example where there are 4 probabilities are calculated. Let us refer 1 and 3. 1 is calculated directly from the sample space because nothing is being informed or given additional condition. So, basically we refer to yes, therefore, I do not or there is no need to emphasize or indicate what is the sample space. So, that is obvious. So, in this language this could be P of E given S, that is something superfluous, unnecessary. Similarly, here also it is P of F given S. However, if I compare this P first and third, P of E and P of E given F, the difference you could observe. Here also I am concerning the probability of getting a multiple of 5 only, but here though my question is same, my world is only having 7 elements instead of 50. So, that is the difference between calculating conditional probability. So, there will be an event which occurred which has already occurred, on that basis we try to collect some information. So, this is this example may look very much academic or very much simple, where it may not, or in practical cases where do we have or coin such questions. Let us look this particular table. I have not given the question, but this is a very simple example from a college per se. I have arts and science group, male and female students. How many students here with this number indicates 200 in arts female and 300 arts male and so on and so forth. So, interpretation of this table is not that much difficult. Let us find out what it says, and degrees in a college in recent year. Let us take some simple example. So, here I can look upon different possibilities. I am not calculating any probability altogether, but the questions, where do we arrive such questions. So, probability of female in this group I can say. So, my total is, my world is 900, of which the female would be 350. Natural question arises, what is the probability of a female degree holders. So, that is a plain question, therefore, I refer only with the whole sum 900, of which 350 would be my favorable. But here the question is slightly different of the degree holders among signs. So, the intention of question is slightly differ. First question is simply looking upon the gender difference, male versus female. So, therefore, you could calculate one probability. So, complement will give the other area. So, probability of female we can find out, or male, whatever the case. But the second question is slightly differ if you closely follow. I refer to the science people only. So, my world will be shrink to 400. That was happened in the previous simple example. Among the science faculty, what is the proportion that male? So, my world will be only 400, of which the male student are 250. So, my calculation could be 250 by 400. So, once again I give less importance for the numerical answer, but the question and why it or in what situation it could arise. And then one more thing is, now I can go accordingly among the females. So, I just reverse the question, among the female gender, how many or what is the proportion that it is an art student. So, it is 350 altogether is female, of which 200 come from arts, therefore, 200 by 350 would be. So, this table can be useful for classifying two variables, one is the gender male and female, another one is the faculty arts and science. So, with this simple classification table in the picture, we are able to frame a probability which refers to or which is calculated based on the whole set of students 900, or I can take within the faculty what would be the gender proportion, or among the genders what would be the faculty proportion. So, any kind of questions can be seen or any can be framed, so that conditional probability can be understood in what way the questions have naturally framed. Then we are supposed to calculate through the conditional probability mechanism. So, it is not being forcibly applied, it is a natural question. In fact, probabilities are generally answered in a very natural way of asking questions from the given situation and then try to apply the fundamental theorems and the basic results of that. So, with this introduction we come to know what is the definition of conditional probability. So, as I mentioned, the mathematical part, that is the theorems on this conditional probability, we will discuss immediately after a short break. So, welcome back to the discussion on conditional probability. So, with the definition I just write it for the reference. So, if I have two events, then P of A given B will be P of A intersection B divided by P of B. So, just now I mentioned that this could be taken as a definition, but I prefer to have the idea in which this results are this particular identity is being derived. So, suppose I take P of A given B, remember the two examples of which the first example is very fundamental and simple also. If I remember, we are considering the numerator as n of B, because I am looking at only B now, in which I am looking at the elements of A. Therefore, the ultimate elements are nothing but elements of B and elements of A. Then a little mathematics here, n of A intersection B divided by n of S whole divided by n of B by n of S. So, I divide and multiply by n of S. This is the numerator is nothing but P of A intersection B and denominator is nothing but P of B. So, this is the better way to learn or understand conditional probability than looking it as a definition. So, that may not helpful, because we may not know how this form has arrived or in what way this intersection is helpful, because this result together with another form, for example, I have P of B given A in the same sense, that will give you P of A intersection B. Of course, I should have written first the denominator, that would be a logical way, but still, because my world is now A, in that I am looking at B. So, numerator is naturally the elements of A first and B, therefore, numerator is A intersection B. That is why I prefer always when we write the conditional probability, what is the denominator, then naturally the numerator comes. Anyway, in these two relation, if you observe, the numerators are one and the same. So, the most important part of our result comes in this way, P of A intersection B is P of A into P of B given A, or equivalently P of B into P of A given B. So, I hope from these two results I just you can easily understand, I just cross multiply it, P of B into P of A given B, P of A into P of B given A. But anyway, in the case of probability study, it is not that much necessary to remember formulas, because the ideas are more easy and interesting. When I look both events, what I prefer is, first of all I take A, then in that I am looking at B. Similarly, I take B, then I am looking at A, therefore, naturally the end result will be both A and B. So, this is more interesting result than this definition straight away what we have. The result what we have observed is how to write this A intersection B. Interestingly, there are at least two we have completed now with mutually exclusive, and two more. Third is also quite important, because the events can be classified in terms of a word called independent. So, this is also I prefer to read or prefer to explain with the help of the definition for A given B. So, both things I leave and we try to discuss this particular point little bit deep. So, this expression is trying to calculate probability of A provided B has happened already. So, it tries to find out the impact of B on A or influence of B on A. So, as long as if B does not have any impact on A, like our second example if you remember, where gender and faculties are classified. So, the classification if it is not influential on each other, for example, there can be certain faculties where there may not be any distinct gender groups. So, it may be typically for male or typically for a female, say for example, even it exists in a college. So, only in women college where the gender has no effect on it. So, whatever the probability of a student pass you calculate, that is always fit to the female group, there is no male group at all. So, the gender issue will not affect the grades, number of grades. So, it does not affect in that sense. I try to calculate the probability of pass or the degree earned in arts or science, whatever may be, where the faculty does not have an impact. So, when faculty does not have an impact, it is only the calculation of probability for the particular group, say arts and science. So, this particular B may be my gender. For a women college, for example, which does not affect my pass percentage, then this is purely P of A. That means, in English if we could say B does not influence or A is free from B, in the sense A is independent of B. So, this word should be understood from such an example or such an idea of conditional probability. If we are able to understand this, what it tries to calculate, not through the definition, from the notion of conditional probability if we come across, then this will be. In a similar way, if the other way around, if you take, if A does not affect B, then it will be P of B. So, if you remember the other two result, now P of A intersection B will become P of A into, from the previous definition if you remember, B given A. But if you give the impact of independent also, what will happen? P of B given A is simply P of B, ultimately P of A into P of B. So, I prefer to say the definition of independent event or the idea for independent event will be P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B, but this cannot be taken as a definition as such, because definition is slightly different. So, what they say for independent event? So, independent event is slightly in a textual form. If I say the occurrence or non-occurrence of A will not affect the occurrence or non-occurrence of B. So, if I take the longevity of this particular session and number of buses plying in the road. So, longevity is my event A, number of buses plying in the road is B, both are no way related. So, whether the number of buses are less or more, I will do my session length or long or more, both of them are absolutely independent to each other. So, whether this happens or not, it will not happen. Or if I say one more simple example, maybe an academic example, if two horses are running in a race on two different places, say in Chennai and Bangalore, whether the horse in Chennai wins or loses, occurrence or non-occurrence. The horse in Bangalore may or may not win. So, once again I will complete my sentence, occurrence or non-occurrence of A will not affect occurrence or non-occurrence of B. This is the textual form, but more mathematically we can understand that independent events are rephrased as P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B. That comes from this discussion or from this notion rather than something like a definition or mathematical form like this. So, we need not try to remember this as a definition, but it will be helpful whenever we say two events are independent. Of course, this can be extended to a number of events. So, if I try to write like this, P of A intersection B intersection C, then I can have P of A, I do not make it as a formula, A happens. Once it happened, I take B. once B happened, of course, A and B happened, then I take as C. So, a natural way to extend this is something called multiplication law of probability, can be written for n number of events. So, once we are doing it for n number of events, what will happen to independent? Suppose all the 3 events are independent, then all the 3, this can be extended as P of A intersection B intersection C equal to P of A into P of B into P of C. Look at the way it has been drawn. So, A happens or not, B will not be affected. Therefore, the conditional or unconditional probability will not differ. Similarly, whether A and B together, A and B happen, C may not be affected. So, that. So, this can be extended to n number of events, this can also be extended. Only thing is you can remember how to write. We start from first event, happens second, first and second, third, first 1, 2, 3, then fourth, etc., etc. So, these two constitute the idea of this discussion. First of all, multiplicative theorem, and then from which how we define independent events and how it helps to get through. If I write like this, P independent in the mathematical form A intersection B as P of A into P of B, this will help a lot for extending it. So, I just to do a simple result with a dash refers to complement the elements not in A. So, I use the definition A dash intersection B divided by P of B. So, this is nothing but the elements of B, but not A. So, we have an expression P of B minus P of A intersection B divided by P of B. Some more algebra here, I divide this P of B. So, P of A intersection B divided by P of B. This is similar to 1 minus P of A given B. So, ultimately P of A dash given B will become 1 minus P of A given B. So, this is something similar to what we had already, the fundamental result P of A dash is 1 minus P of A. This is something similar to that, P of A dash given B is 1 minus P of A given B. So, we are able to generate these kind of cases in a very standard way or a natural way using the definitions of conditional probability as well as the results we had for the probabilities. So, once we are done with that, we are not only doing that particular part. Suppose I have this with me P of A dash intersection B, then I have this as P of B minus P of A intersection B. Suppose I assume that A and B are independent, then you can very well write this as P of A into P of B. So, that I take P of B outside. So, what will happen? It is 1 minus P of A, or else 1 minus P of A is P of A dash into P of B. So, what we have derived is very interesting result with the help for the independent events. So, whenever we assume that A and B are independent, A dash and B are also independent. Not only that, we have A, B dash, A dash and B dash are also independent. So, multiplicative theorem together with independent events will help you to understand the conditional probability and the notion, I mean the association between the independent events and conditional probability, all are explained through these kind of results. So, the major part which we have discussed today in this session would be conditional probability and independent events. From there we are able to go or build some theorems, so that what we can do while we calculate the probability with the help of these kind of mathematical theorems. So, few examples, as I mentioned, we attempted here A dash and B. So, similar work is given here A given B dash and A dash given B dash, so that you can find out. So, these kind of questions could easily understood for writing or deciphering what conditional probability is who invest in money market funds will also. So, this happened already, based on that I am looking for invest in common stocks. This is reversal, who invest in common stock already will also invest in money market funds. So, little English grammar will make the question much more clear. This happened already, this will happen in future. So, A given B or B given A according to the notation defined. Similarly, this also. So, the idea of conditional probability and independent events being discussed throughout this particular topic. Thank you for joining this session.